lovely people, my name is Emma and today I'm doing my 5-star predictions for non-fiction. So I put out my fiction one the other day and this is now just looking at 5-star predictions for non-fiction books on my want to read list. This used to be a big popular thing a while ago, maybe I'm bringing the trend back, who can tell. So I have 4 books I already own and 2 books that I intend to buy over the next year, and the plan is to read them in 2024 and then review at the end and be like, hey, how well do I know my reading tastes? Did I genuinely predict 5 stars? When I've done these videos before, and I think this is round 4 maybe of doing this, either 3 or 4, generally what happens is my non-fiction predictions are better than my fiction ones. I think I know my taste better with fiction. But there's been like a shake-up in the genres that I like to read since my hiatus, and who knows, there could be some sneaky surprises in there. So let's just jump straight in and talk about some of these books, shall we? The first book is Otherlands by Thomas Halliday. This is fairly solid ground. I think we are onto a 5-star, probably future favourite. This is a book about sort of paleontology, ancient history, going back into sort of the Earth's origins and looking at how life evolved. This is ticking all my boxes. Like, I love me some prehistoric information, I love dinosaur stuff, I love pre-dinosaur stuff. Some of the books I've read from like pre-dinosaur and like Cambrian periods and things like that have been my absolute favourites. And one of the girls at work who has quite similar reading taste to me and is like a massive nerd like me, Belle, looking at you here, is reading this at the moment and has said that it is fantastic. So it was already like fairly solid ground that I was going to love this book, but it's now got a glowing endorsement from someone whose opinions I trust. So we're kind of a given, and I genuinely might just get to it in January because I'm super psyched about this book now and I want to be able to talk to her about it. So probably see this one fairly soon. The next book is more because of the subject matter. I say that as if that one wasn't the subject matter. Never mind, I think a lot of these are the subject matter. But that is The Man Who Tasted Words by Professor Guy Leschziner. This is about synesthesia and like the world of our senses and sort of how senses work, and I think this is going to be a really good book because it's going to tap into a lot of my interest in biology, neuroscience, things like that, but also I really like synesthesia and it's something which I'm sort of intrigued by in the way that our senses can get confused and the way that things can kind of go a bit wrong but in a way that isn't harmful in our body is always really fascinating. And I read a book called The Frog Who Croaked Blue years ago when I was a teenager, which was about synesthesia, so I'm really excited to see what has been happening since then, because obviously with non-fiction, just because you read a book like 20 years ago doesn't mean that things haven't moved on quite a lot, and so I think it'll be really interesting to see what is sort of new and up and coming, because this book was released relatively recently. So yeah, I think this one is going to be good. One that is actually more from the author than necessarily the subject matter is Pathfinders by Al-Khalili. This is the golden age of Arabic science, and I love history of science. It's definitely a huge area that I have massive interest in, and I definitely want to get better at things like Arabic science because I feel like a lot of my knowledge is very Western focused. However, the main reason why this has gone from like book I'm intrigued about on my TBR to, oh god, I think this is going to be 5-star read, is I'm currently reading another book by him called Life on the Edge, which is about quantum biology, and it is freaking phenomenal. Definitely going to be a 5-star read, could be a favourites book. I literally have 2 chapters left and it's amazing. So given that I've had such a positive response to that, this has suddenly made me look at this book in another light, going, I need to prioritise this one and get it read because I think I really like his work. It will be interesting though because Life on the Edge is written by 2 people, whereas this is just by Al-Khalili, so it will be interesting to see how much, I think the other guy's name is John McFadden, like how much he has an influence on the writing style and how much I enjoy this one separately, but I think this will be very intriguing. The next book is Lifechanging, How Humans Are Altering Life on Earth by Helen Pilcher, and this one just again sounds like it's right up my street. It's specifically looking at how humans have shaped evolution by, you know, taming wolves and turning them into chihuahuas, among many other things. And again, I love me a little bit of evolutionary biology. I love sort of how life has evolved. It sort of taps into sort of some of the more prehistoric stuff, and I really like that kind of social interaction between us and humans, us and other animals, sort of the ways that we've shaped the planet. And this is definitely giving me Tamed by Alice Roberts vibes. That is one of my all-time favourite books. It is amazing. It is about the 12 species of either animals or plants that we have tamed over the years or domesticated or cultivated, and how they have shaped human evolution, but also how we shape them. So I think this is just going to be like more of the same, and I think that's going to be fantastic. So fingers crossed, I deeply enjoy this book. And then the 2 that I don't actually own at the moment, the first one is An Immense World by Ed Young, and again, This is probably more like, in fact, actually this is probably a perfect Venn diagram of author and subject matter. An Immense World is about the world. It's very much like a natural history book, but the reason why I think it's gonna be so solid is I read Ed Young's I Contain Multitudes 2 years ago now and freaking adored it. I listened to an audiobook. I smashed it in like a day and a half. You know, you're finding things to do to just keep listening to an audiobook, and that was about your microbiome and microbes, and I just really loved his writing style. Everyone has been hyping An Immense World a lot. Many people whose opinions I value have said that they think it's really good and it's up for a load of prizes, so it's kind of a bit of a given, and I've actually like picked it up in bookshops and put it down multiple times recently for the logic of, I know I'm going to enjoy that one, so why do I need to pick it up anytime soon? It's like a definite slam dunk read. I should go for something a bit more experimental, which is kind of a little bit crazy if you think about it, because of course buy the book that you know you're definitely going to enjoy and read, and then freaking read it. So by adding it onto this list, we're actually going to prioritise it and get to it in 2024. And then the last book on this list is Planta Sapiens, The New Science of Plant Intelligence by Paco Calvo, and this is probably the most like out there, hit and miss, might not be a 5-star read for me. It is about plant intelligence, which, like, you know, subtitles suggest. I've been really getting into botany and nature writing over the past couple of years and really enjoyed sort of the way that our understandings of plants has changed and the way that our understandings of like what it means to be an intelligent sort of sentient living thing has changed over the years, and plants being incredibly intelligent in their own right has appeared in multiple other books, so I think this would be a really interesting one to like focus on it just by itself. So yeah, it's not actually had that many reviews out there, and it was published, I think it was published this year, so I will be intrigued to see what it is like. It's a little bit of my out there one, but hopefully the subject matter will carry it through. So that is it from me. Those are 5-star predictions for non-fiction that I'm going to be reading in 2024. Do let me know down below if you agree with any of these, if you think that they're good, or if you've heard mixed reviews on any of them, and also do let me know if you're doing 5-star predictions anytime soon. Have a wonderful reading week, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.